This afternoon we're going to run through some key updates regarding Talent Source Network, and we're really fortunate today to have E.ON and Becci Bradley talk about some of the work they're doing with the Department for Work and Pensions. I'll let Becci Bradley introduce that. The key agenda for this afternoon, starting with an update from myself, and that's a partner update. For those of you who I haven't worked with before or haven't met me before, my name is Aidan. I'm the Talent Engagement Manager from Energy and Utility Skills Group. My key role is to support Talent Source Network through a whole range of different avenues. But the avenue we're focusing on today is sector attraction and partnerships. We're then going to move on to, after a partner update, we're going to move on to Becci Bradley from E.ON. Becci is the resourcing business partner at E.ON, and she's been doing some really exciting and innovative work with Department for Work and Pensions, and that's been looking at setting up a recruitment channel for smart metering. I'll let Becci tell you more about that, but it is an exciting project that's about to start. And then thirdly, we're going to look at utilising those strategic partners, which I'll cover in my first element, and look at how we can maximise visibility of your business, the opportunities, and the wider sector activity. We will stop for questions as we go through, but please, if you could direct that through the chat box, that would be fantastic. So, energy and utility skills. Our vision is to ensure that the UK and utilities industry have the skills and competence that they need now and in the future. To ensure that we do that as a membership organisation, we have two key bodies, boards. The first board, or the most senior board, is our council. Our council is made up of 25 CEOs across the energy and utility sector. We meet twice a year, and that's really to make sure that we can drive forward change and make the impact we need to for sustainability going forward as a sector. The second group we have is the Industrial Partnership Board, who meet more regularly, and that board will both highlight sector challenges through individual businesses, but also support energy and utility skills, highlight those challenges and how we can best work towards addressing them and work through that collaboratively. At this point in time, we have two key initiatives on our doorstep. Number one being the Infrastructure for Skills Plan, which is a £100 billion government investment in UK infrastructure. At this point in time, 2/3 of that looks to be sitting within energy utilities in some way, shape or form. So we have a flood of investment coming into our sector. That will create challenges, of which we'll highlight a number of them today. And the second key area that is coming up at this point in time is the levy. That's starting in April 2017, and the questions around that would be, how can we best utilise that government initiative to make sure we as a sector are on the front foot? Wrapping up both of those initiatives and others that are discussed within our boards and forums, much of that boils down to as a number one key objective for energy utility skills and our partners, which boils down to sector attraction. Sector attraction is absolutely paramount at this point in time. It's vital we are as visible as we can be going into the end of 2016 and early 2017 to make sure we're best prepared and established for 2020 and beyond. It's because of that vital need and that need to attract into our sector and be visible that Talent Source Network has come about, and why we are working with partners we are at this point in time. So what is Talent Source Network and who is it for? The Talent Source Network is a window. It's a window for the sector that's supported by, engaged by our key partners. It's looking to provide new talent and burgeoning talent with up-to-date sector information. It's looking to raise the profile of businesses within our sector to make sure they're visible to those talent pools. It's looking at highlighting both the training and career opportunities going forward. And fourthly, and probably most importantly at this point in time, it's allowing us to have a hub for retaining and engaging talent that have shown an interest in our sector. Those 4 key objectives of Talent Source Network will enable us, we expect, over the next 6 months, over the next 12 months and beyond, to develop a competent and credible workforce for the future. My role within that is to support you as employers and partners, engage with the talent you need, and to do that, I really need to rely on key overarching bodies and partners that will enable us to meet those people. As an organisation, Energy Utility Skills can do a certain amount of outreach, but we're aware strategically we need to broaden our horizons. That's horizons both within our sector in terms of visibility, but making sure we take that voice and project it wider. For that, we've established 4 key partners to this point, and this will be the last thing I highlight before passing on to Becci from E.ON. The 4 key partners we've highlighted are the Department for Work and Pensions, CTP or Career Transition Partnership, the Association of Colleges, and Oil and Gas UK as a newer partner we're working with at this point in time. So why these partners? Okay, Department for Work and Pensions is a government body. They engage, as a body, they engage with every unemployed individual within the UK. They engage through their own network with 750,000 people to support them into the world of work. That's a vast number of people, I'm sure you appreciate. 14,000 people every day move from benefits either into the world of work or further training. And what we would like to see, and what we're going to hear about shortly from Becci, is how that partnership, how that vast network of work coaches on the ground can support us as a sector, but more importantly as individual businesses meet our key objectives for 2016 and beyond. The second partner we've engaged with is a CTP or Career Transition Partnership. This is a network that's set up to support early service leavers. So every year the MOD or Ministry of Defence will support 17,000 people move back into the UK and resettle. That requires lots of work, but the primary focus is ensuring they have a secure and stable home to move into, that their immediate family and children, if that's the case, have opportunities for work and schooling. And thirdly, from our perspective, the most importantly, that these individuals can use the skills and attributes they've learnt within the Ministry of Defence and apply them to the world of work in Civvy Street, as they would call it. Currently within the network, we have over 1,000 service leavers, which is fantastic. These are service leavers who have met a work coach on re-entry into the UK and have heightened an interest to work in our sector. For over 1,000 people there, that's a large proportion of talent to go at. The third group we're working with and supporting, although it needs further development in terms of aligning those key relationships, is the Association of Colleges. The AOC, in short, engages with 325 colleges across the UK. Each of those colleges will have STEM learners, so science, technology, engineering and maths learners. It's important that we get in front of, we influence and we steer these individuals as soon and as early as we can, so that we raise visibility, we raise ourselves and our opportunities we're offering as a viable route into a sustainable career. And one thing I'm really passionate about is when we're talking about to all these partners, is that we're not talking about short-term, low-paid, low-skilled jobs. We're talking about credible, long-term, sustainable careers that will enable our young people and other people to influence the direction of the sector today, tomorrow and going forward. And that's what really drives me at this point in time, meeting people like yourselves on the call, picking up your enthusiasm for the work you do and driving it out to a much larger audience beyond our current sector. The fourth organisation we've engaged with strategically is Oil and Gas UK. The reason we've engaged with Oil and Gas UK is because over the past 18 months, any of you who follow oil prices or gas prices will know there's been 18 months of consistent deflation, so prices have gone down. That's led to 100,000 individuals who have worked in oil and gas being displaced across the UK. And the feeling is within our work at the moment is that 100,000 people who are currently displaced, could they or do they have the skills, the attributes and the behaviours that will benefit our sector, the energy and utility sector? Early indications is that that's the case, but we're going to drive that forward and start communicating on behalf of the sector and you as businesses with those individuals. And the conversations are predominantly at this moment in time are around the SMART initiative. Those are the key partners. There are other partners we will be speaking to. There are other partners I'm sure you're talking to. And my role again is to go out and communicate and share the passion we have for the sector and hopefully influence and steer talent to both talent source networks. We can feed it into businesses in a timely and efficient fashion. The most important element for today, and in the spirit of the industrial partnership, is looking at how businesses can benefit on a day-to-day basis from these partnerships. We're really lucky to be hearing from Becca Bradley of E.ON, and some of the work, she's going to highlight some of the work she's been doing with the Department for Work and Pensions.
So hi everyone, as Aidan's mentioned, my name's Becci Bradley, so I'm the Resourcing Business Partner for E.ON UK. Over the last few months we've been doing some work with DWP to strike up a strategic partnership. So this is on the back of an introduction meeting that Aidan hosted between ourselves and the DWP. And what I wanted to just highlight to you is some of the key work that we've been doing and a trial that we've set up that is due to launch shortly for the recruitment of smart technicians. So our partnership and what we set up, we started the partnership for a number of reasons, as you'll see them on the screen there. So it's to raise the recruitment profile to help us on our journey to become an employer of choice. So we want to move away from being known as an energy supplier. We want to also be known as an employer, and especially an employer of choice. It will also going to support us to demonstrate the collaborative work that we can do between private and public sectors, and I hope to remove some barriers. There's a sector focus there as well, so it's an opportunity to raise the profile and the challenges that we have within our sector, and look at focus on building long-term talent pools. So that links to what Aidan's already spoken about with regards to Talent Source Network as well, and that is the main platform that between ourselves and DWP we're going to be using. There's opportunities there for media and some PR. So again, we're working collaboratively with EU Skills and with the DWP and our media and PR team as well, so we can highlight some of the things that we're doing to show that we can be leaders in this. We can set up this new trial, we can support the sector, and we can also support the transition of talent into the world of work. And it also aligns to the government's focus around getting people back into the business and their strategic needs as well. So there's a number of really good reasons why we started this partnership. So on to the next slide, Aidan, please. So what we spoke to the DWP about was running a sector-based work academy, and the perfect fit for us was within field operations. So as I mentioned, it is in the world of smart recruitment, so particularly the meter technicians. Anybody who is working on this or has any understanding of it will know that from the energy sector, we are looking to recruit around, I think the number's around 12,000 meter technicians over the next 3 or 4 years, and the skills that we are looking for there isn't that many people out there in the UK that can do that. So as a company, we have decided to take the strategy to look at recruiting unskilled people, giving them the opportunity to gain those qualifications in the gas and electricity, to then mean that they are skilled to become the meter technicians, and they can support us with our smart meter rollout. So having discussed this with DWP, they talked us through this sector-based work academy that they've done with different companies before, but not within this sector. And what we saw is that it was allowing us to tap into another part of the market. It supports our strategic partnership goals, but it also gives an opportunity to provide some work experience for potential employees So from our side, it ensures that they are suited to the role in the company, but also from their side to make them feel comfortable that this is the role that they would like as well. And the idea is it's looking for those people that are furthest away from the labour market and helping them in their journey back into work. So what is a sector-based work academy? It's a government initiative to help get Britain working, and it's helping those who are ready for work, helping them to secure employment. So it runs for the one that we're doing is running for a week, and we will, down the side on the right hand side, you'll see that we are going to do some pre-employment training, we're going to do some work experience placements with them, they'll be guaranteed a job interview. It can last for up to 6 weeks, like I say, but the one that we are doing is just a week, because the training, if they are successful, will last for a longer period of time. Some of the benefits are listed there as well. So it helps us recruit a workforce with the right skills. There's no direct cost to the employer, as it's all covered by government funding. So these work-based, sector-based work academies, DWP will secure all the candidates for us based on the information that we provide them. They will run all these sessions. They will provide us with somewhere to run the job interviews. We are just providing the people to support those assessment centres and support with the work experience. And what was really great about it is that we was able to tailor it to meet the needs of the business. And I believe, Aidan, if you go on to the next slide, it gives you a bit more information. So this was our first shot at giving a bit of an overview of what we're looking to include. We've now had a full-day session with some people from the DWP, people within the recruitment team, and also with the business. But typically, the 1 week will include the details that are on there. So we're looking to give them an introduction to E.ON, meter operations, smart, why we're recruiting it, so all the background, and all the stuff that they probably don't know about E.ON as well, and all they don't know about smart recruitment. There's different skills that are required, what qualifications we can offer them, what that training might look like. And then as part of that, they will get to have a look at a meter, have a play around with those. At our Kings Winford office, we've got a whole room with just meters all over the wall, so they can really get to have a play around with that and see if it's something they would like to do on a day-to-day basis. There were people on those days that who are in the role already or have recently joined, so they can do some questioning with them. They can shadow them for a little bit, and then as part of our application process, they would need to do a colourblind test, which we'll build into part of that as well. And then on the second and third day, so DWP will lead some sessions for us. So they are looking to include things like health and safety, customer service skills. So we are looking for people to have had some previous customer service skills. But as I mentioned earlier, these might be people who have been out of work for a long time, so it's brushing them up on customer service skills, an introduction onto how to behave in the workplace. There is a number of things that they're going to cover in those 2 to 3 days. And then on the fourth day, they will be on site for us. We've put Kings Winford, like I say, that's our main site. But we are looking to run this trial down in the southeast. So we may look to do that somewhere different. We're just finalising all the details on that part of it. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we will guarantee the people who've gone through this an interview. So we're looking to offer this to 15 people at a time. So all 15 people will be offered an interview, and it will be our standard interview process that we would take external candidates through as well. And hopefully, as part of the DWP preparation, they will be up to speed with or they will have had a bit of an overview on how to conduct a competency-based interview and the types of things we might look for them to do in their technical testing. So a team of assessors will go down to DWP site and complete the assessment centre. Day 7 is the following week, and that's where once all the scores have been checked and everything's been finalised, we will then have an outcome and we will make an offer to whoever has been successful. So we're not putting a number on that. If all 15 people are successful, we would offer the job to all 15 people, and we would then offer them a start date. On to the next one, Aidan, please. Can we go on to the next one, sorry, and then come back to that one because it's just the timelines probably run better. So just to follow on from where we were, what we're looking to do is we're now in end of September, beginning of October. So the programme is being designed and we are looking to start that the programme in the second week in October, so that throughout October, November and December we will run those trials. So we have committed to the DWP that we will recruit 50 people as part of the pilot. So throughout those months we will continue to run these weekly, fortnightly, however that might work, and offer whoever is successful, with a plan to start them from when our next inductions are, which start in January. So we will set expectations with those candidates that they will have a start date January, beginning of February. So that's where you'll see the candidates start, and then we've got a planned review in February to see how it's gone. And the idea is that it will be a success, and once we have had a success and we've done a bit of a lessons learned, we can then scale this up and move it to other areas. The area we've chosen to start with, as I mentioned, is a typically hard to recruit area for us. So if we just go back to the previous slide, Aidan, please, thank you. So I've covered most of that in there as well. The two, I should have probably tried to put them all on one slide. So as I mentioned, the trial of 50 people in support in filling the unskilled roles that we've got. And the benefits of the trial are that we will hopefully see a higher quality in candidates and high conversion rates at our assessment centres, because candidates are more engaged. They've seen the job in operation. They've had a chance to speak to some of the managers, and they know a bit more about E.ON. It will support in our fulfilment challenges and target our hard to fill areas. So as I mentioned, down in the South East is particularly hard for us to recruit in, so it should hopefully support with that. And we'll link back to lower our attrition rates. So as it stands at the moment, our attrition rates aren't high, but we are expecting, as we ramp up, for those to change. So we're hoping this type of initiative will lower any spikes we might see within attrition. As it stands, with any company in the sector running a work-based academy like this, and we will see that it is, if it's a success, it would be easily scalable. So we could just take the bones of it and just move it to a different location. And we can also share this with other people within the sector. So once we've done our review, we will share all of our learnings, and hopefully other people can then use this as well as a way to recruit. And then it will also allow us for publicity for Smart Programme and wider E.ON. And I think, Aidan, if we just go past the timelines again, I think that gave all the information that I wanted to go through, and just if anyone has any questions.
Fantastic, thanks for that, Becci. As Becci said, it's been really interesting to see this initiative come together, and the benefits in terms of meeting core business needs for recruitment, and as Becci highlights there, the wider wraparound visibility of both E.ON and Smart, and then sharing that information with the sector. I think it's a really innovative and exciting proposition. Are there any questions for Becci regarding that? There may be now, and I'm happy to take questions now, or if there's questions that come into your mind in the coming days ahead, we're more than happy to pass on questions at a later date. Just giving people a moment, Becci, to type if they are going to type. If not, we'll continue, and if you're happy to, if people want to send me questions or any follow-up, I'm happy to take those.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm just exploring here whether people are using a chatbot or have found another way of communicating. Okay. Okay, there's an interesting questions come in from Rachel Brennan at EU Skills. Has this been pitched as CSR work achievement within E.ON, Becci? So how has it been perceived within E.ON?
Yes, it's been perceived really well, actually. We've run through it with a number of people within E.ON. So all the PR teams and the public affairs teams, they're all linked in with this as well. Our HRD is really on board with it. It has been perceived really well, and we're all excited to see how it's going to develop. And like I say, fingers crossed, it's going to be a huge success.
We agree, and hopefully we see that in the coming weeks and months. Okay, if there aren't any more questions, I will share my details. Rachel says thank you. I'll share my details at the end, and people can contact me if they have any questions for Becci going forward. Okay, I'm just going to try and share my screen again. Thank you for that, Becci. Okay, so I'm going to look at now, just to in the final 5 minutes, look at how as individual businesses and as a sector we can support each other, promote and highlight Talent Source Network, and in doing so, the activity and opportunities within our sector. We have 3 key routes. We have obviously our key members, our employers, who are able to refer into the network, and that can be their professional talent. It can also be those key silver medalists, and by silver medalists I mean people who apply for roles, and we use SMART as an example. There is a dearth of individuals, a lack of individuals in the market who have SMART skills or SMART awareness. If we can share that talent or excess talent, if it's available in a network, fantastic. Equally, so if someone applies for a job within you as an employee, and you have 4 people down to the final position, but there's only 1 position, would it be possible, and I know businesses are keen to do this, in sharing the 3 members of talent who do not get the job? Why would you do that? Well, as a network, we're able to create groups, individual groups by companies, so you can ensure you continue to communicate with that individual and individuals to keep them warm, to keep them aware of opportunities coming up in the future. But also, we are in a competition, and I think as a sector, we often look at competition internally within the sector. But as we move into this technology boom in the UK, actually, our larger competitions within other sectors, so space, aeronautical, automotive, rail, fintech, there's lots of new sectors coming to the market, but also historical sectors that are competition for us. And in many respects, actually, by collaborating, cooperating as we do within the Industrial Partnership and sharing that talent who's interested in us as a sector, it's worthwhile sharing it and making sure it sustains itself. Businesses are also highlighting opportunities through PR and Think Power. The second route, which we've highlighted a lot today, is partners. So we have an increasing number of partners who have huge reach across the UK in different avenues, into different people with different skill sets. And it's really, really important that we look beyond our current sector to new horizons, use those partners to influence and shape our future. And I think it's important that we do that increasingly. If you're keen to speak with any of our partners directly or at one of our forums, please let us know. And the third route is via campaigns, and that's collective campaigns as a sector. So an example of that could be Careers Fair, or an event coming up in November for a skill show. We use an incredible amount of social media at Energy and Utility Skills to promote you as businesses, what you do and opportunities you have, and again, referrals. One of the key drivers, and many of you may have questions, one of the key drivers I've shared the webcam today is not to spoil your afternoon, is so that people I communicate with in large numbers recognise my face and understand what I do as a day job. And hopefully when we're all busy people, if you're in Shirley where I work, or if you're at a career show and you see me in another stand, please do come and say hello. Please do recognise that my role within EU Skills is to support you and support the sector raise our visibility, and I'd really like to get to know you as individuals and as companies. Go back to the community. We currently have a number of businesses supporting the network. We are at our first year, so it's our first inaugural year has been delivered. So we're celebrating a birthday. We are keen to secure our future. So going back to what I was saying earlier, lots of discussions, and the key drivers around our boards at the moment are sector attraction. I think, and I'm a believer that if we can communicate passionately with the talent out there, in whatever environment they're in, whether it's a school, college, training provider, UTC, university, or in employment outside of our sector, a depressed sector, I should say, that actually if we can get in front of them, if we can share information about our sector, share information about our businesses, that actually that passion, that drive, that visibility will really sustain our future. And that's what we're talking about now. We're talking about sustaining our future in a challenging environment, both economically, but for our sector, a challenging environment. So we're keen to sustain a platform. I hope to bring on new employers that can share greater visibility, share more opportunities, so that when people join the network as talent, they have a number of opportunities and a number of career channels to go down. Next steps, that's relatively good timing. Next steps, thank you for everybody who's joined the call this afternoon. Really appreciative of taking time out of your afternoon. But again, the reason that I'm here in the skills and the wider team is here is to support you achieve your objectives. And if we can do that as individual businesses, then we can be sure as a sector we will thrive. Special thank you to Becci Bradley for this afternoon and the team at E.ON for really grasping this opportunity and developing those partnerships further. Really look forward to seeing how that develops in the coming weeks and months, and whether as a sector that's something we can adopt and embrace for wider benefit, both within those who are looking to enter the world of work, but also for our individual businesses. I'm happy to open the floor now to any questions from callers. Again, if you could use a chat box, that would be fantastic, but you have my details on your screen at the moment. I will disseminate or distribute slides, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Okay. Kirsten, the question raises here that a number of businesses seem to have gone down from last year. Kirsten, we haven't lost any members this year. We are on our first birthday, so we've had our inaugural year. But what we have done is we've charged for our services as of last year. It was a nominal fee, and what we're really lucky with in Talent Source Network is that the weight of the cost, the heavy lifting if you like, was funded through the IP. So the industrial partnership has paid for the first $250,000, so $250,000 has been invested in the platform and in supporting that. We now require our second year, our year of consolidation if you like, and for that we're hoping to bring on new businesses. Saying that, let's go back to the two boards we spoke about, the Industrial Partnership Board and our council. The key driver at this point in time, and I have flagged this, is sector attraction, and we're expecting much wider investment and commitment from those bodies that sit on those framework to support Talent Source Network. So if anything, we expect that number to grow. Thank you. Okay, brilliant. If there's any more questions, I would happily take them. Again, if you want to contact me via email or telephone, that would be appreciated. Please do get in touch. I'm happy to bring this to a close. Again, thank you for your time. All the best.